Okay, so AI, right? It's everywhere you look these days.
Yeah, it's inescapable.
Seriously. Like every time I turn around, there's a new headline about AI writing a screenplay or composing a symphony. But then you've also got these articles popping up about APIs and AI, and some of them have got to be kidding with these titles.
The death of APIs.
Come on, a little dramatic, don't you think?
Just a tad.
So to figure this out, we've got these 3 articles you sent over. There's that one from Open API Hub Community, the one about, what these new generative AI tools actually mean for businesses. And then there's that Forbes Technology Council piece on how AI is, changing how we develop APIs in the first place.
Oh, and don't forget the other one from Open API Hub Community. That one's really digging into this whole LLM takeover thing.
Right. The fate of APIs in an AI-driven world. Catchy, I'll give them that. But are we really talking about a complete technological apocalypse here? Or is it more like, the next chapter in how we use data and tech?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's not just about the headlines. I mean, what I find really fascinating is how all of this whole discussion about AI and APIs, it's really a window into how the internet itself is evolving.
Totally. Are we on the brink of some massive upheaval? Before we get ahead of ourselves, though, let's do a quick level set. When we say APIs and LLMs, what are we actually talking about here? For folks who might not be, knee-deep in this stuff every day.
Sure. So think of APIs as the behind-the-scenes heroes of the internet. They're the connectors, the facilitators. They're what make it possible for different systems to talk to each other and share information.
Okay, yeah.
Like when you order takeout on your phone and your order just magically appears in the restaurant system, APIs are working their magic behind the scenes. LLMs, on the other hand, they're like the new kids on the block.
Yeah.
All the buzz, all the hype.
Right, the ChatGPTs, the Bards, all that.
Exactly. They're these AI systems that can actually understand and generate human language. It's pretty wild.
Okay, I'm with you. But that still doesn't really explain why people are saying that APIs are, on their way out. I mean, it's not like these AI systems just materialized out of thin air and suddenly made APIs obsolete, right?
Well, absolutely not. What's happening is much more interesting than that. In fact, that Open API Hub article, it makes a really intriguing point. LLMs aren't here to replace APIs. They're becoming some of their biggest users.
Hold up. So instead of killing off APIs, AI is actually going to create a need for even more of them. How does that work?
Okay, so picture this. You've got a company, right? And they've got this, ancient customer data system. It's old, it's clunky, and it doesn't have a modern API. It's like trying to access the internet with a dial-up modem.
Oof. Yeah, I remember those days.
Now, let's say this company wants to use an LLM to analyze all that customer data. They want to personalize product recommendations, maybe even target their marketing better, all that good stuff.
Oh, okay, I think I see where you're going with this.
Right. So you've got this super smart LLM, but it's stuck trying to access data from the Stone Age. That's where the API comes in. It acts as a bridge, a translator, if you will. It lets the LLM understand and actually use the data trapped in that outdated system.
It's like giving the LLM a set of keys to the data vault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of connecting LLMs to these, sometimes ancient data systems, it's actually pushing the boundaries of how we design and manage APIs in the first place.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, think about it. That Forbes article we talked about, it mentioned how companies are using an average of 230 different software applications.
Serious.
That's what they said. It's mind-boggling. But the point is, that's a ton of data. And APIs are how we navigate that whole mess. Now, throw AI into the mix, AI that needs to access and process all that data at lightning speed, and suddenly having well-designed APIs, it's not just a nice to have, it's mission critical.
And that's where this idea of future-proofing APIs comes into play, right?
100%. It's not just about connecting things anymore. It's about building those connections so they can actually handle the demands of a full-on AI-powered world. It reminds me of that old saying, measure twice, cut once.
Right. So how do we actually do that? How do we future-proof an API, especially with AI in mind? What does that even look like?
Well, the Open API article gets into some of the specifics. One of the big ones is standardized API specifications, especially Open API.
Okay, and what is that exactly in plain English?
Sure. Think of Open API like a universal blueprint. Yeah. You make sure that all APIs are speaking the same language, that they're designed in a way that's, consistent and easy for machines to understand.
So no more API Tower of Babel.
Exactly, which is super important for AI systems because they rely on understanding those structured specifications to actually use the APIs effectively.
It's like teaching the AI how to read the API instruction manual.
Precisely. And that's where tools like Swagger and Fabric's API come in. They use those standardized specifications to create interactive documentation that both humans and AI can understand. It's a win-win.
So not just an instruction manual, but one with like pictures and diagrams.
Yeah, kind of. It's all about making those APIs as user-friendly as possible, whether you're a human developer or an AI system. But it's not just about making APIs understandable. It's also about making them efficient.
Yeah.
And that's especially important for AI because these LLMs, they are data hungry. They need to process massive amounts of information to do their thing.
So like an all-you-can-eat data buffet for AI.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's where GraphQL comes in.
Yeah.
Unlike traditional REST APIs, which can sometimes require multiple calls to get all the data you need, GraphQL lets you be a lot more targeted.
Pick and choose exactly what you need.
Exactly. It's all about speed and efficiency, like ordering a customized meal instead of having to, go through the whole buffet line.
Okay, so we've got the blueprints, we've got the dictionaries, and now we've got the express lane for data delivery. Anything else we need to add to our API future-proofing checklist?
One more thing. Versioning. The Open API Hub article, they made a big deal about this one, and it's super relevant when we're talking about AI integration because AI systems, especially these LLMs, they're evolving constantly. As they change, the way they interact with APIs might also need to change.
Got it. So it's like future-proofing your house, making sure the electrical system can handle any upgrades you might make down the line.
Exactly. Versioning ensures that you're not going to break everything every time you update your AI system or the API itself. It's all about backwards compatibility.
Smart. Speaking of the future, the Open API Hub article, it had some really cool examples of how this whole AI API tag team could play out in different industries. Like, remember that one about personalized shopping experiences?
Yeah. Imagine AI analyzing your past purchases, your browsing history, even your social media, all to create a shopping experience that's tailored specifically to you.
No more generic recommendations. Sign me up.
Right. And it's not just about, getting you to buy more stuff. The articles also mention healthcare, like using AI and your genetic data to create personalized healthcare plans.
Wow. Okay, so not just convenience, but potentially like life-changing stuff.
Exactly. And honestly, we're just scratching the surface here. Personalized shopping, customized healthcare, we're talking about potential breakthroughs in everything from how things are manufactured to how students learn, all powered by this AI API partnership. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really makes you wonder what we'll be talking about this time next year. But okay, let's bring it back to Earth for a second. Remember those headlines we were talking about at the beginning, the whole death of APIs thing? Looking back now, I think someone jumped the gun a bit, don't you think?
Maybe just a tad. Seriously, though, this isn't the end of APIs. It's more like a rebirth,
Yeah.
They aren't going anywhere. They're just adapting,
Evolving.
leveling up. Exactly.
Yeah.
Becoming more robust, more efficient, more AI ready. But it occurs to me, this isn't just a technology shift, is it? It's a culture shift, too. I mean, are businesses and developers actually ready for this new world where AI is so tightly woven into the fabric of APIs?
It's a good question because it does feel like a whole new ballgame.
Right. And the articles we've been looking at, they all emphasize that making the most of this AI-powered future, it takes more than just, technical skills. It takes a shift in mindset, this willingness to embrace new ways of doing things.
It's like you can't just rely on your old roadmap. You've got to learn to navigate this new terrain.
Exactly. And just like, learning a new language opens up new ways of thinking and communicating, embracing these AI-powered API approaches, it can lead to completely new levels of innovation and efficiency. But you got to be willing to learn the language.
So for those listening who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed right now, what's the key takeaway? What's the one thing they should focus on to get ready for all of this?
Honestly, if I had to boil it down to one thing, it'd be this. Don't just think about connecting systems. Think about building those connections in a way that lets both humans and AI thrive.
Building for the future, not just for right now.
Exactly. Designing APIs that are functional and efficient, sure, but also understandable and adaptable. APIs that can keep pace with the AI systems they're working with.
APIs that can evolve.
Exactly. We're building for a future where AI isn't just consuming data, it's a partner in creating a more connected and intelligent world.
I love that. More connected and intelligent world. Well, that's a pretty inspiring thought to wrap up on. We've covered a lot of ground today, from those slightly alarmist headlines about the death of APIs to the incredible potential of AI-powered API design and management. It's clear we're just scratching the surface here, and I'm excited to see what comes next.
Me too. The future is wide open, and something tells me we'll be talking about all this again soon.
I'm sure of it. This has been a really fascinating deep dive into the world of AI and the future of APIs. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Until next time.